And I'm going to open up the monthly town council meeting. Yeah, the roll call. Amanda, if we would do that.
Michelle,
Yes.
Bernice, Blair,
Yes.
Mayor Jarvis,
I'm here.
Mr. Chapman,
I'm here.
Olivia.
Here.
And.
Here.
Okay, and everyone's here.
Okay, and Mr. Chapman, if you would just give us a few words as to why you're coming to us via Zoom, please, for the record.
I have the flu.
Sorry to hear that. I hope you feel better.
Thank you.
Okay, well, stand with the pledge of allegiance. Pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible. There's a couple of things to add to the agenda. Under the reports, which is tab I. The planning commission has invited us to a joint workshop on the comp plan on February 22nd, 2024 at 6. You gotta add it. I'm giving you as I'm talking. The joint public meeting. And that's on the 22nd of February at 6:30. That's when the Thomas Jefferson that we hired from the cops will have a joint briefing for not only the planning commission, but also for members of council. And that's will be and is being advertised. Second thing to add is under new business, under tab K and number 4 is resolution 2024-001, which basically we should have done last month, and it's the resolution that establishes the regular meeting schedule for the whole year. And does anybody else have any addition or subtractions?
Is this when we appoint the vice mayor?
Yeah, we can add that under the new business. And that'll be right under the new business before we get to number 1. Yeah. Thank you for that. Sorry about that. Anybody else have any additions or subtractions? If not, I need a resolution to accept the amended agenda as spoken. Olivia has made the motion and Bernice has seconded it, and
Yes.
I got Olivia.
Yeah.
Bernice, Blair,
Yes.
Olivia,
Yes.
Ron.
Yes.
Yes.
Becky, thank you. Okay. So last month, we started to do the public hearing for Mr. Singh and Miller's Markets conditional use permit request. I'm going to open up public comments. And of course, the applicant always gets to be the first one. If you want to come up and speak about your proposal, and I'll give you 10 minutes.
Well, I'm only gonna use a few minutes of it. Thank you again for being here tonight and of course, hearing this out. Of course, over the past year or so, I've faced everything from it being thrown down the line, pushed down, whatever it may be. And I'm happy that it's come to a resolution through everything. And that's all I want to say.
Okay, Thank you. Is there any members of the public that want to speak for or against? Specifically. To you.
Ms. McGee, you're a member of council, you can speak during.
I was told I had to be in public.
Yeah, we asked that if you're going to speak as a private citizen. That.
Hi, I'm Rebecca McGee and I live in 714 St. Francis. I've known AJ and his family since they've been here. I think that they have done a wonderful job with Miller's Market. They're an asset to our town. And their request for the gas pumps, I think should be approved. They are working hard and they want to expand their business, and I think it's will be a good thing for the town. They're an asset, like I said, to the town. I'm also speaking on behalf of Snake and my son John, and they're all for it too. So if you will all vote for AJ and Miller's Market, I would appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else would like to speak? Call.
I'm Jill Covert, 226 Louise Avenue, and I'm here. My sister, Rebecca Rose, would like to be here, but she's not well enough this evening to come. She's in a wheelchair permanently. She has no legs. And she just wanted me to mention that there aren't gas stations in this town where somebody in a wheelchair can get gas. And so she's looking forward to Miller's Market because they have a nice wide open parking lot. It's paved, you know, she could, like Duke Oil is just gravel and, you know, it's very difficult to maneuver, and Express Lane is just, she can't get around it and whatnot. And she just wanted me to mention that that would be a real plus, and that as our population ages, that's certainly something to consider, is that it would be the only place where somebody with mobility issues would be able to get gas.
Thank you. Anybody else? We're saying you have the last word. If you want, you don't have to, but then I will close the public comments. I will remind the council that there were several stipulations that Mr. Singh agreed to. And we have that in writing and stuff like that.
He agreed to
Yeah.
everything that was asked.
Yes.
You 100%.
Yes.
Okay.
With that, it's discussion amongst council. After the discussion, or there's a motion and a second, we can have more discussion.
As my part in being a representative of this town, I have talked to many, many people, and everybody is in favor that I have talked to. There was no one that told me no. So I also put it on my Facebook page back when we first started this in January, and I got all positive reactions. So this is, to me, we're not just self-serving. We shouldn't be self-serving. We're representing the people. And I went out and I did my job, and I found out what the people want, and they want this.
Question.
Good.
On number 6 and number 7,
Yep.
would it be possible to change the word should, shall?
Well, you don't have, we really don't have to do that, because part of the number 7 is actually going to be done as part of the county. Requirement.
Can we provide them?
Well, you won't be able to do it if it doesn't pass. Okay, that VDOT controls whether you gotta put a turn lane in,
Okay.
and if you don't.
I just wondered, didn't know if they would, you know, if they should be providing some.
Yes, they were, and I guess my only comment would be, because this has been out, you're kind of throwing a change in at the last minute, which is you know, he said that he would resurface it and,
We didn't, we don't get to have a meeting. Why don't you just ask him if he'll be okay with changing where it should?
she wants you to repave the driveway.
Well, if anything, at least
You don't have to, he's already,
Worked out, you worked it out. Well, yeah, if anything, I mean, not necessarily resurface it, but at least get the parking spaces.
So I have a question.
More than anything.
yeah, that, by code, you're gonna do that.
Yeah.
So, but he said he would do that, so.
So I have a question when there's a free moment.
You're up, go ahead.
So did we ever get more precise, clarified language for the caveats? We spoke about this last month and the month before,
Right.
stating that the language was vague at best. So have we looked into maybe having our esteemed attorney take a look at it and make sure that we are not just protecting us as a council, but protecting Millers and AJ?
Yeah, there were changes made after the first, but when you brought that up, and that's when we redid the 7 items, and I brought up to council that the VDOT is not something that the applicant's required to do, but that's part of the building permit that the county throws on. You weren't happy with the vagueness of the truck parking. Does that mean you can't have any truck parking even if it's parking to bring supplies to them? And so we changed that there was going to be no overnight parking, and he agreed to that. If
Well,
there's
and it
something,
was,
but
I think some of the other questions that were brought up was, and I apologize, I don't have it right here in front of me, but whichever number it is that directly speaks of the dark sky lighting.
all right, let me read
Number
that.
1, it doesn't even say during the night.
So number 3 is lighting. It says requires dark sky lighting techniques to be required in all facilities and the parking area of the total business and to neighboring properties as much as possible. Canopy design, signage on canopy and lighting below, around, and the timing of the canopy emphasizing dark sky lighting techniques. The remark that we did the first time.
Right.
But-
And so if you look at the caveats that were placed on Family Dollar back when it was put in, I think that was in 2014, they were specific in how it was worded. It said when the business closed for the evening that they would go completely dark. That's why you don't see Family Dollar leaving their store lights on or their parking lot lights on. Now, I'm not saying that Miller's needs to go completely dark because their gas pumps would be open 24 hours a day, but we don't mandate what time dark sky lighting should start. So it could be 2 o'clock in the morning.
Well,
And
no,
you've got residents all around not getting any darkness until 2 o'clock in the morning.
Well-
Because of how vague it is worded currently.
okay, then I would tell you that Louisa code for dark lighting is very specific. And since we don't have a code on dark lighting, it automatically falls to what the county uses. And again, that's part of when it goes from here to there. I don't have that in front of me. Catherine, can you bring up Louisa County dark lighting? She's trying to do that.
What is a dark sky lighting technique? Just briefly,
That's to, so you can see the sky without having the pollution of bright lights and stuff.
Kind of what Lake Anna is.
So he's saying that
All the lights.
Family Dollar store does not have any lighting after they close. It's just dark there. I would think security reasons you would have a lights or something there.
Well, I'm sure they have some inside lights, but
Cause I mean, we're talking about safety and, you know, whatever, in case somebody does try to break in or whatever.
Right,
Oh, and I'm not saying that Miller's should go completely dark. Don't misunderstand me. I'm just saying that the town council was very specific in the wording of that caveat with Family Dollar. I don't think Miller's should ever go completely dark. I think that's crazy because that just invites someone to break in.
Exactly, we say for a dollar store, Family Dollar store, they shouldn't be completely dark.
Right.
that's.
But I do think that we need to be more specific only because, and I mean, I'm thinking long term here. If,
So
3
what-
years from now, none of us are voted back into office and the new town council says, well, what does dark sky lighting mean?
Okay, so let Catherine read it for you, what the county, and then if you have a suggestion or a recommendation, that'll be your opportunity to speak up. Go ahead.
So the county uses a very standard definition. Dark sky lighting is a term that refers to shielded light fixtures that cast downward and generally conform to the specifications endorsed by the International Dark Sky Association. If I may add,
Sure.
I would read this section on lighting being all the time. Any lighting is required to be dark sky compliant, is how I would read this.
I'm going to call an audible call here. Nicole, I'm just curious, since you're the planning administrator for Orange, any words of wisdom or how Orange interprets dark sky lighting from your point of view? I know I'm kind of putting you on the spot, but.
No, that's fine. So dark sky lighting is exactly what the attorney has said. It's just making sure that all lights are pointing down to the ground. They're not in the sky, they're not shooting out, fixtures are straight down so that you can see driving and you can see the parking and so they're not out into the road or shooting into the trees. Everything is pointed down, even lights that are under canopies, lights that are on the stores, lights that are on the storefront.
Right.
Emergency lighting, all of it points down.
So it doesn't matter when it's on or off because it's never gonna be a nuisance.
Yeah.
So,
In theory.
yeah, I mean, that's the design, rather, I mean, that's the design.
Okay,
I'm joking. I'm good.
I guess I'm gonna kick it back to you, Ryan, if you have a question.
I mean, I think if Mr. Singh agrees to, and it sounds like he does, I think if he agrees to the dark sky lighting and we notate in there that we are going off of Louisa County's interpretation of dark sky lighting, then I think my concern is alleviated.
Okay, Mr. Singh, you've heard the comments. I think we need an affirmative, an actual oral from you that you agree with the definition of the Louisa County dark sky theory and that you will adhere to that as it relates to the modification.
I agree.
Well, and I think an oral acceptance is one thing, but I also think that we need to write it into and maybe have Mr. Singh sign the agreement that,
It's there.
We will do that. Plus, remember, we're video and audio. You can't say you didn't say it because it's being published for anybody that wants to review the meeting. But I will, in fact, get that in writing for you, Ron, and for other members of council.
And then the zoning administrator is gonna have to approve his plans, so.
Well, I'll make a motion that we approve Miller's Market's proposal to install gas pumps and that he goes by all the regulations and what I've put forth to him by the states and by us and by the county or whatever. And that we approve this.
CUP.
Right.
Okay, we have a motion by Ms. McGee,
Seconded.
seconded by Olivia.
Anyone have more discussion?
If no discussion, then Dr.
So I have another question.
Okay.
So are the environmental studies and the water study, is that part of getting a permit?
That's
Or the gas.
That's all part of additional stuff that Louisa County, whatever Louisa County, all we're doing is that he meets all the conditions of our code. You know, in terms of the setback, any types of these 7 items that we talked about. Then he goes to the county with a piece of paper saying that we don't have any objections. And then they put him through the list of stuff that's required by the county and by the state, because the county is the one that's actually going to issue the building permit, and they can't issue the building permit until certain things are done. And that's why it's important when we had this discussion is you don't front load a bunch of studies and stuff on anybody, because we don't really have that authority because we don't issue the building permit. We look at what our code is, if the setbacks are met, if we have other unique things that are in our code, and then once he meets those, then the administrator, zoning administrator, will sign a letter that says, hey, the town of Minerals reviewed his application and he's met all of our zoning requirements, and then they start their process. If we didn't sign a piece of paper, then they don't do anything. So that's how that works.
Understood. So is there an opportunity for the town to review those results prior to building starting?
I don't know. I suspect we could ask for them because he's going to have to produce those anyways to satisfy the county. This is my first one that has been a CUP, so.
I mean, I would ask, I would almost insist that.
It says number 5, previous well on property requires engineering report be made available to the town/county prior to issuing building permit.
There you
The
go.
applicant shall consult the BDH and community building office concerning the proper and safe well closing on site. So,
It's there.
It's there.
So it's there. Yeah,
Yep.
that's what I was asking.
yes, it's there.
He doesn't back it. I can see he has it on.
Can we go ahead and vote or something?
Well,
Okay.
are there any more questions? Dr. Tobin,
Yes.
Bernice,
I have sort of a problem. I am pro-business, but I am also pro-citizen, and it really bothers me that people are going to be coming in and out of there with headlights all night long buying gas. So I don't think that's conducive to anybody's home life.
okay?
The other thing that really bothers me is the ex parte contacts that went on with this before this vote. One-on-one meetings with people. That's wrong. It shouldn't have happened. That's called an ex parte contact. So I would say no.
Okay. Blair, yes? Olivia?
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
second, and Ron,
Yes.
well, that's 5-1 in favor of, so. Congratulations, Mr. Thing. Come by tomorrow, we'll get the paperwork you need. Take to the county to start that journey. Catherine, any comments or anything? Okay. I am going to open up for public comments just in general. Anybody have any public comments on anything? Okay, that makes it easy. I will close that. In your packet, under tab G, there are 3 sets of minutes. I would direct your attention to the minutes of September 11th, 2023. Ask you to review those, provide any additions or subtraction, and at some point in time, you can vote to accept. And I'd like to thank Ms. Cubey for helping us out with those minutes. And then for those of you that are fast readers, you can also look at December's meeting minutes and also the short version of the January 16th minutes.
I don't know, I had some suggestions for me in here on this.
They are not.
Well, I don't have it with me, so I just sent them to you.
Yes, I do have the corrections made by Ms. Cubey.
Okay, do you by chance know those off the top of your head?
I do not.
It's hard to vote.
It's so many. Decent.
Hey, let me see.
That's what happens when we did with that.
So I have the edits for January.
Okay,
Yeah, for the January 16th, adding Mayor Jarvis to present. When we adopted and amended the agenda, I wrote G, D, and D to G, state what was moved. And the wording flip flops.
right.
And then the wording where it says agenda, it's on the second page. And so, it says agenda was also amended to add, cross that out, and update on Mineral Historic Foundation to old business.
Okay.
And that was it.
And then you're getting rid of G through and. Right?
Yes, and the votes, adding the votes and getting rid of G to the end.
Okay.
So, talking about September 11th, 2023, only, I have a motion. Blair and Dr. Kovic, seconds to accept the minutes from September 11th. Ron? Yes, no?
Yes, sorry, I was on mute.
Yeah, that's all right. Becky McGee?
Yes,
Livia? Laura? Bernice?
Yeah.
And Dr. Kovic.
Yes.
Okay. I'd like to get a motion and a second for December 11th, 2023. So. Dr.
Well,
Kovic.
I had changes to that one too. Did I email those to you?
I believe they were emailed.
Okay, well, let's go to the January 16th one, on 24th. And we'll come back to the December, because I can't really get a motion if there's been changes, because we're voting. So.
Oh, maybe, oh, I thought.
For January.
Let's look at January 16th, look at it, and I'll take a motion.
We just made changes to it a minute ago.
Mhm.
Okay. So I I move that we accept it with changes that we just discussed.
Okay. For January 16th, 2024, Dr. Kovit made a motion to accept him with the changes.
A second.
Second by Blair. And Ron,
Yes.
Dr.
Exactly.
Becky McGee.
Yes.
Olivia.
Yeah.
Go ahead. We're here. Dr. Kovit, thank you.
All right, I can tell you what.
Okay.
The December 11th meeting, the first sentence, Mayor Darvin called for members of the public looking to speak. I just said, Mayor Darvin opened the public hearing for the budget amendment and orders and power that Thomas Jefferson thing. It was just, we opened the public hearing,
Right,
so just,
had to be more succinct.
right, and so it was to hire the Thomas Jefferson Planning District to assist with the comprehensive plan.
Okay.
It wasn't much. Over on the Whitlock Family Park, instead of saying the building, I put the old factory building.
Okay.
And I think that was it.
Anybody else have any?
The mayor gave a summary of where it says we are, after the town is in terms of the budget. That's it.
December 11th, 23 minutes as amended, 24 meeting. Okay. December
Oh, I just want 30.
Yep.
I know.
Dr. Kovit, that has made a motion to be executive.
Yeah.
I need a second.
I'll work.
Thank you, Leah. And Dr. Kovit,
Yes.
Ernest, Blair, Olivia.
Yeah.
Becky
Yes.
and Ron.
Yes.
Thank you. So if you go to tab H, you'll see the bill for December. As you remember, we didn't have that all compiled for you, so that's what you voted on in December, and then January is on the next page that shows you the bills for that month.
Fire program expense.
Are you on December or January?
I'm sorry, December 2023.
Is that the amount
That's
of?
the 50,000, yeah.
So
That's out.
That's a
it's
good.
a grant that we in the town have to do on behalf of the fire department, and it's a pass-through. Basically, the state sends us the 15,000 and goes right to the volunteer fire department. And we wrote.
It doesn't show the income, it only shows the outgo, so that's great.
Yeah, and we have already applied for the 2024 one.
Thank you.
Yep. I'll take a motion on the December, seconded by. Okay, Bernice has made the motion to accept the December 2023 bills. Blair has seconded it. Olivia? Becky?
Yes.
Ron?
Yes.
Dr. Kovit?
Yes.
Bernice?
Yeah.
And Blair. And I'll take a motion on the January.
Can I ask one question?
You may.
This southern, wait a minute, where'd it go? Southern Salt. Why we keep paying this and we're not getting it yet?
Yeah, actually, we have it. It's on the computer and we actually.
So when did it come in? Just
So,
last couple of weeks?
no, actually, the software's been in for about 6 months. The problem is we haven't
You
had.
not, you, okay, you,
So it's now on the server where it was on a private, town clerk computer only. And that renewal is actually good for the next 2 years.
oh, okay, so it's not every year thing.
The software,
Where?
your favorite, software right there.
Paying 13.
Oh,
$13.
here it was. That overview.
Is this one right here.
Oh,
Renewal fee and your.
this-
Yeah,
Oh, that was the renewal, that was the second part.
no, that was the renewal.
Oh, what's?
Yeah.
Is this including the training and everything or not?
It does include everything. Yes.
When will we be able to start actually using it?
We're using it now, they're loading up the different stuff. When it
Having
goes
training,
go live
they're being
in July,
That's from Sunday.
because
Okay,
it's the new fiscal year
it's
and
Patty.
they want to
Okay.
July first.
And what about treasurer? Have we made any?
Well, you're getting ahead of me.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So,
I didn't know if there was someone working on it.
yeah,
Okay.
so I'm looking for a motion.
Accepting it.
Denise Becker and Dr. Colbert and Blair. Bernice.
Yes.
Dr. Colbert,
Yes.
Ron,
Yes.
Becky.
Yes,
Emily. Okay, have I, we're into the reports. Attorney's report, I'm gonna let you go first.
Submitted in writing, if anybody's any questions, I'm going to add it.
Yes.
Okay, so
There's two reports for DMV and two reports for the attorney,
Attorney's last page, last 2 pages.
okay,
January and December.
so if you'll look at the attorney's December report and her January's report. And if you have any comments, feel free to speak up and direct me to the.
January should be right before that.
Yep, right.
January should be right before that.
And mine. Wow. Exhausting to read.
Take off the bus time.
Yes.
I saw the report though.
Yeah, it really is very comprehensive, and it's nice to be able to see what it is that you're working on. It really is, I mean, specific things, I know.
And if no one has any comments from the attorneys, then I would go to the DMV, which again has December, which is in front of the attorney's fees. And as you can tell, the folks have been really doing a stand-up job on the revenue. And I'm happy to report that all the computers are running, that the scanning and copying and all those things that have been hit and miss, seems to have been. Well, I won't say it, I don't want to jinx it, but it was interesting, so for the month of January, the DMV pulled $50,000 profit. And how much brain death they did.
Amazing. Really amazing.
That's. For those folks, they really got customer service down to the fine art. And the folks that come in. One of the gals came in with 1,000 applications for title. And one of those was Lamborghini or something like that, 100,000 plus, so. Wow, so,
Oh, that was on the 18th, because it was $157,000 day.
so, DMV does rock. So from the manager's point of view, of course, the trials and tribulations of getting the IT down in Oregon Falls. And one more things as it relates to the townhouses, the 14 separate houses that are being built, and that we'll talk some more about in closed session. And right now, we're working on next year's budget. For those that are committees that require that they're gonna want some money, you need to be thinking about what your committee is going to be requesting and get that over to Blair as soon as possible, because she will be working with me to input that into the draft budget that we'll be providing.
I'll send emails out once,
Right,
I get the forms.
because remember, at the end of the day, you have to have a public hearing on it, and fiscal year starts 1 July, so we have to have that passed and everything before that.
Now, water has always had this $125,000 budget or whatever, and it's always gone to emergency repair or whatever. Can we have like two line items, one is, you know, our emergency repair budget, and just another line item that's like our amount for like infrastructure that we can just spend on whatever we forward progress, like an amount that we get, and it doesn't taken away from me because we just want the new software.
So that's gonna be called a capital improvement.
Right.
So that's going to be its own enterprise. So the answer is yes.
Okay, that's gonna start January 1.
No, July.
July 1.
But
But is that gonna be separate from, you know, roads and signs?
it's going to be separate. As I explained, there's going to be at least 5 enterprises in the budget.
And I understand that capital improvements doesn't include, but I mean, it's gonna be an amount, but it's not all water.
And it's going to be broken down by what the capital improvement is.
Yes,
If
okay,
it's sidewalks, it'll say sidewalk.
okay,
If it says a new building, it will
okay.
have that.
And then the committee itself can make the decision.
The committee, yeah, because you guys have to bring that forward. Now, council will decide as a whole whether that is going to happen.
Whether, see, the thousand, what's 20, you're asking for, so you're asking for.
And the budget amount.
Yeah, if you're asking
Right,
by
but once the budget amount is, let's say $50,000 is okey dokey, then when we want to spend $3,000, we can just spend it. We don't have to back for everything we've done. So
No.
we have to wait on this, right? And
No,
that's-
you'll still have the town manager. opinion.
yeah,
And there may be times something else happens, then we'll bring it forward and say, look, we had this, but unfortunately something else happened and we need to reallocate money, if I can use that word. And that'll be up to you all to decide. So that's what we're doing. I did hire a new town treasurer. Kelly Singleton accepted our offer. She's going to start the 4th of March. And I think she's going to be a great asset. She has a lot of the accounting background. In fact, she worked as the accountant / bookkeeper for a church that roughly did about $1.1 million budget. So that's kind of in our neighborhood as a small town. She also has some HR background. And currently she's was working for the planning for Louisa County. If you go over there with your application, she would be one of the technicians that would take to make sure all your paperwork was right and stuff like that. So anyways, she's starting the 4th of March. And that's good because our software being online, we've been holding off on the training until she got into place. So all three of the women will train on that software, so. And I'm gonna let Bernice talk about the help me out.
Zoning administrator.
Thank you. The social administrator, because that was something that as the manager, I could not hire. So that's before you all tonight, and I just am going to yield to Bernice as the new planning department chairman. Personnel to
Well,
talk
we,
briefly about that and to bring everybody else up on anything else.
well, we have contacted Nicole Washington. Nicole, would you like to stand up? She is the planning director for Orange County, but she has signed a contract to be our part-time contract zoning administrator. Thank you so much. So I'm going to make a motion that we hire Nicole as our part-time zoning administrator.
Second,
Okay, I have a motion by Bernice, a seconded by Becky. I'm sorry, I didn't.
Get your name.
Dr. Becky.
Yes, thank you. And Dr. Covet,
Yes.
Bernice,
Yes.
Yes.
Blair. Dr. McGee.
Yes.
Brian
Absolutely, yes.
and Olivia.
Hey,
Welcome.
welcome. It's my new Dr. May with that second floor. You, I tell you. Oh, my.
Okay. Does any of the committees have any other things they want to,
I do.
go ahead.
First of all, park. I had been waiting on the school to answer me about making a design for the sign. Well, they just answered me like a couple of days ago and they think that the project may be a little large for them. So I'm gonna look elsewhere. I think I'm just gonna go up to the sign company and see if they can also make me a design, but I was trying to involve the school. Utilities. We are working with the Office of Drinking Water to eliminate all the lead that is in the water.
Lead pipes.
The lead pipes. Not only does it have to be eliminated by October, this is the state mandate. This year, October this year, and it has to be on the private side and the public side. Now, you will be able to bid on this, because what's that thing that they got rid of that he doesn't?
They got rid of Bacon Davis, does not apply to any of this that we're doing. Okay, no Bacon Davis for the contractor. Right.
And just so that you, those of you that aren't aware of the Bacon Davis, that's a federal procurement that a couple of senators wanted to make sure that when you bid on federal contracts, that you were given honest wages to those individuals in those particular lines of job classification that the folks did. And unfortunately, it was not only a lot of paperwork, but, you know, for typically for this area, for example, if our operators, we were only paying them like $20 an hour, the federal procurement under this Bacon says you need to pay these people $40, which kind of, you know, our guys couldn't bid on it. So that was one of the concerns that we had. And that's why we asked the question. The other thing that I would bring to your attention is just because there's a mandate, it doesn't necessarily mean that we have lead or have a lead problem. What it is, it's a fishing expedition to search your whole water system to determine if we still have lead pipes or lead connections. And if we do, we have to do a due diligence and make a list of everything and then the second part of, I guess, the money, if it's going to come, will be to try to fix that, right?
The money will come if we qualify.
Right.
However, at this point, we do not qualify because our water rate is not high enough. In order to qualify, our water rate will need to go up to 51.25 for the base rate. And we will have to, I've just found this out tonight because they emailed me like at 5:30, they must have worked late, that we need the average water bill for each resident in the town. And so if we qualify, then all of this is free. It's paid for, engineering fees, everything.
And that's based on the median of the,
Household income. Yeah.
Oh, the Census Bureau.
Well, Census Bureau said that our median income in this town was $61,500. So you had to divide that by, you had to, 1% of that was $615. Then you had to divide that by 12, so it came out to 51.25. So that is our base rate for the median household income of the people in the town.
In the town of Mineral.
Just no sewer, just the water, so
Right.
that our water bill has to be on average every month. So in order to qualify for this and not be alone, we have to raise our rates.
and don't have to.
55, or else we have to go in debt for that.
Yes, we either qualify for, we either qualify for a grant that pays for everything, it costs nothing, or we qualify for a loan.
And based on the housing in Mineral, most houses that were built before 1978, most likely have lead pipes.
Somewhere.
I don't have lead pipes.
I'm just saying, somebody has a
Because,
built before 1978, most likely.
yeah, because
Most likely had lead pipes.
we changed mine
But we really.
What, 2 years ago?
Inventory.
2 years ago.
What would this mean for raising the water bills for residents of the town?
So,
It's cheaper than paying off the loan, because we'll have to raise the rate to pay the
Not what I'm
loan.
asking. Not what I'm asking. So we have residents, a lot of our residents that are on a fixed income. What is this going to do to their monthly water bill? Are we cutting off their noses and making it so that they can't pay their water bill? Only
Well,
because
we don't get the grant and it's just millions of dollars that we'll have to take a loan for, because this is required by the state.
Right, but then it'll go up and they'll still have to pay it,
That'll be taxes.
because we have the option of bringing it back down through this process. But if we
so
go
do
into.
we know
college and debt,
how
we have
much
that.
lead? Do we know how much lead is in our water system?
That's what the cost is to investigate.
Well, then that's the first part. The first part is to find and locate the
$30 million is for that.
then you will pull together your inventory, and they will give you $250,000 to pull together the inventory. And they will send engineers down here to help locate the lead and teach the people here that are working in the water system how to identify the lead and so forth and so on. So they're holding your hand the whole way, and it's very, very involved.
so I think this has too nasty. The problem is that we need the grant up to the $250,000 to determine whether we even have any lead. The problem is that right now our water rates don't qualify us for that grant. I agree with what you're saying is we're now asking 6 months later to go from $30 a month to $51.25.
Then they'll raise the sewer rate,
And everybody
because that went 30% last time, and that was.
and anybody that's on a fixed income, obviously now that's gonna be another $22. I don't know.
So are we, and maybe I'm mishearing because the speakers are breaking up. So maybe I'm mishearing. So are we raising it to a set amount per house, or are we raising the rate per gallon?
Well, we are right now,
They stay.
in the process, we are right now in the process of just filling out the application. So this is your base rate, like it's $30, it's $51.25. And I mean, you don't have to raise sewer, you can, if you need to decrease sewer, you can decrease sewer. This is just for this grant. But we have always been told by USDA that we need to make our water system pay for itself. Well, I think this is the way they're making it pay for ourselves.
So we're not asking for a vote tonight.
Yeah.
folks,
No, we
because
still have to
we're
make the
gonna have the
application.
public comments and stuff like this. But this goes back to what we said for a long time, and the problem is we have kind of been reluctant to raise our water rates, and now what we have, it seems like it's really over the top because we're starting so low and having to make up a lot of ground. I
But we're
don't,
gonna have to raise it higher if we have to take out the loan, then we have to raise it to not take out. the loan.
So you don't have to necessarily have to raise the water rates if we take out the loan, but you sure have to raise your taxes to pay the loan back.
So one way or the other, what about, I've always said out of town people should be paying a heck of a lot more than what we pay for water.
Yeah.
The bad thing is they're not included when it comes to the income.
Yeah, but they should still get an increase,
Yeah.
increase
So,
because
so if we do raise in-town rates to 51,
it should be 75.
they will be higher. They will be higher than what is being paid in town.
Because I mean, they're getting something for
Yeah.
no taxes, no nothing.
Yes.
They're
We
just
asked,
water bill.
That is correct, but I mean, right now,
okay, well, we just wanted to throw the bombshell.
didn't we ask if we could raise, have people out of town pay higher, and weren't we told no?
No, they are paying high.
They are,
they've already paid like.
And none of them had sewer, right?
They're still paying higher when it comes to the water bill, even when it comes to additional gallons per month, when it comes to base pay. You're paying, those in town are paying 30 for base pay, for like 3,000 gallons. Outside of town for 3,000 gallons, they're paying 40. So,
So if we go to 50, then they should go to 75.
yeah. But that's a discussion another time.
Right.
Let us work up, because again, we're gonna have to decide whether council's gonna go down that.
Maybe we can talk about it next month, everybody can think about it.
Yeah, because next month, we have other people that we need to talk to that included in this grant, such as this, we have two schools and it has a Christian school. Those two are gonna have to be remediated. That's a whole different thing.
It's inside the building and our grants don't cover inside the building.
I have another question. If you find out the lead is, well, if it's on one side of the town, if it's on the people's side,
We have to do both sides.
then you have to do both sides. Then y'all owe me $2,000.
Now, the state
Right
will pay
hand.
the contract.
Okay.
The state will pay the contractor to
Anyway, we're not asking, we're just, this is just
giving you a heads up, so you are thinking about it, so next.
Do you have anything on the budget?
I know that I'm gonna be, talking to Olivia, setting up some workshops so that we can look at, ordinances and what we can change, developing, purchase ordinance, looking at business license ordinance and a couple other things, a couple other ordinances when it comes to taxation and such.
Good. Anybody else have any committee?
I got a police report and everything was cool with the town except lots of traffic stops.
I was gonna say, I noticed that they've been doing a lot of speeding,
There's lots of
Oh.
traffic stops. If they
Yeah.
come on the back streets, they have a whole lot more speeding. So, but that was basically, I think 50 some on Main Street for the month of January. That's a lot.
That's a lot of
But-
speeding.
yeah.
Speeding, yeah, that's really.
And I know back in the back streets is even worse. And cemetery, I'm sorry, you need to call Lewis. You're on cemetery?
I need to call Louis.
Yeah, he's the one that you contact for cemetery. I meant to tell you. Lewis Powell, I have his number if you need.
He has your number too, because he called me and asked for it.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
It's going to get to personnel stuff to you. He was sick tonight, so. Anything else?
What else is on?
In your, sheet on and I talked to them. That's,
And that VDOT's mercy. So,
because I want to, talk to them about what we, it happened.
Yeah.
If they're for planning commission, to talk to them about the, seeing what we can do about along Millers, or not Millers, along. No, that basically is one of them, the, farmer's market and ball field, so we can see if we can change how people park, so we can get line and,
okay.
yes.
I don't see where it's enough room you could do that. I really don't. For lines,
It's not,
parallel lines, I don't see.
Well,
no,
he's talking about.
angle, is it give them more?
That's what I'm saying. I mean, well, I said I meant,
When
I know what you're talking about. Yeah. But I just don't see where it's enough space
All
there.
right, I'll get with the VDOT. See, but if you're a streets person, I'll give you his phone number. You're gonna have a battle with it. Any other committee meetings? Okay, let's go to old business. Obviously, number 2, we already did a zoning administrator. So 3 months, every month since 3 months ago. We talked about changing the way we pay our employees. Right now, we pay our employees every week. And it's done good old fashioned check and sign them. That's time consuming. Council had authorized us to go to a bi-monthly electronic payment plan. We've collected bank accounts and routing numbers from all our employees. The one little issue that we have is when you're used to getting paid every week. And now we say, oh, by the way, effective this date, you might get paid every 2 weeks. There's a week when you're transitioning, you're not getting paid. People, that may be a major hardship. So the question was, how can we mitigate that? Or we threw out, did anybody have any suggestions? One of the suggestions was that we pay our employees, I'm going to call it a Christmas bonus, even though we're 2 months past there. Basically giving them 1 month's pay as a bonus. While in transition to a paycheck. So how that would work is they would work for a week. And we're giving them a bonus for that week. 1 week. 1 week, but it's also following week, when the new check comes out, they're gonna get paid for 2 weeks, that 1 week that we gave them the bonus. And then,
Can we call it bonus or is it illegal?
no, we actually have in the ordinance, we didn't give bonuses.
Okay.
She was going on while saying, I want to make sure that when you call it a bonus, they don't get taxed the way
No,
bonuses.
Bonuses are taxed.
Thank you.
yeah, well, yeah, they're gonna have the state and the federal tax money taken out of it.
As long as it's
So I just
bonus.
I just wanted to clarify, you said 1 month, you meant 1 week, correct?
I did say that 1 week, yeah, I don't know how, but,
I'll take a month, bonus, then he doesn't.
Yeah.
so again, for example, if I'm getting $1,000 a week from a 40-hour week, then at the end of the week, not gonna be a paycheck, it's gonna be this bonus check. The 1,000 or the 40 hours will roll into the electronic. And then at the end of the second week, when they finish the second 40, they'll actually get an electronic check for the 2 weeks.
Right.
I don't want people to think that we're double paying them a paycheck. And so I'm following the cat by a different name.
Right.
It's their bonus check.
And
So you're asking us to authorize a 1 week bonus for each town employee.
That's what I'm suggesting, and that ballpark figure is about $10,000. Yeah,
Do we need to hold a public hearing in order to do that?
it's actually less than 1% of our budget, so I'm told no.
Okay,
And we have it in the ordinances that we're authorized to do it. It's just a matter of, we've never done it, and
Did we get a Christmas bonus?
we didn't give it.
They got squat nothing.
It had to do with the, them getting, raises.
so the
Bonuses
reason that the
have nothing
former,
to do with the raises.
the reason that the former personnel committee did not entertain holiday bonuses is because we knew this was coming in January. Of course, we
No,
didn't have a
y'all
January meeting.
discussed it in the personnel meeting that y'all were gonna do all this stuff for the, I was there at that meeting.
Okay,
And y'all said that y'all were gonna do a meal or something for the employees and they got squat nothing because y'all never did a thing.
Yeah.
Thank you.
that's water under the bridge.
Well, now that I was rudely interrupted, again, the
Thank you.
former personnel committee decided not to do a cash bonus based on the fact that we were going to have to do this for them at the transition. This was decided when Tony Wade was still part of the personnel committee. So prior to that meeting, Ms. McGee.
Okay,
But I would make the motion that we approve a 1 week bonus for each employee of the town so that we can put them on the 2 week rotation.
So,
okay, I have a motion by Ron to authorize the,
Or he's just seconded.
I know,
Okay.
I'm choosing my words carefully.
Got it.
Sorry, my brain doesn't work. All right, we have a motion to pay each employee of the town equivalent to a 1 week bonus. Seconded by Bernice. Any discussion?
Yes, where are we getting the money? Where are we, I mean, we spent the 16, we got the 30 for the bathroom. I mean, where are we gonna get this 10,000 got coming? Is it for
It's,
the children's or the bathroom for the ball field?
yeah,
I mean, I'm just saying, we've been spending money. Where are we gonna get? We need to, where are we gonna get?
Okay,
What are you talking about the bathroom?
It's already been
What are you talking about?
It's there already. All you said is okay, it's already there. We're just giving it to them in order to be able to do the 2 week.
Well, no,
bike pay.
it is an additional, it is an additional expenditure. However, we are understaffed at the moment, so there is money in the payroll budget
Yeah,
to
it's
cover
coming out.
10,000.
pictures,
Just coming out of the manager's salary.
right,
Okay. I think that.
Yep.
If we're not paying a manager.
Right. So any more discussion? Ron?
Yes,
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
yes.
Yes.
6-0. Your employees will thank you.
Not that I wanted to have it, I just wanted us to know, get the money. I want the children, the kids, I want the children to have their.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
What were they talking about, the 10,000 for the ball field? The ball field's been voted for and done.
Fancy, so the money, we just have to know where we're getting.
Yeah, I don't think the project's done though.
I mean, he's got the stuff. You're getting ready to start the project, right? Okay.
Thank you. Ron, next on the agenda, is an update on the Mineral Historic Foundation. I can certainly say what it is that you said to me, or since you're home, you can speak to the crowd.
I am not supposed to report on the Historic Foundation as a member of council. That's why I submitted it to you.
Okay, so I was informed by the chairperson for the Mineral Historic Foundation that they had a meeting and they have voted to terminate the Mineral Historic Foundation, which means that their lease is going to be terminated. And at some point, they will make a determination on what they need to do with what is the Historic Foundation's stuff and what is the Town of Minerals historic stuff. And we'll find a home or a place to store that. And
Mr. Mayor, if I may,
thank you.
I apologize. The Historic Foundation is not being dissolved. The museum is being, the lease on the building is being dissolved, not the Historic Foundation. The Historic
Okay.
Foundation will still remain in full force.
Okay, thank you for that clarification.
Ron, you told me yesterday y'all were dissolved. Y'all were, that was
No,
it?
what I told you was we were going to be dissolving the lease on the museum. Those were my
That's
exact
not
words.
what I heard.
Okay, so,
But the,
So the stuff that's in that building belongs to either us or the Historic Foundation in Louisa, correct?
No, it belongs to the town.
Not everything.
Actually, it belongs to the Historic Foundation. Again, the Historic Foundation is not being
Question.
dissolved.
Question.
okay,
You don't have insurance on anything up there, correct? You told me y'all didn't have money for the insurance. So right now, that stuff is sitting there and the town of Mineral is responsible if anything happens there with any of the stuff, correct?
that's
No.
called,
Why aren't we responsible when,
so we're responsible for the structure itself.
well, what if something, somebody
And-
goes in there?
Normally, when you're a renter, you have insurance for the content of your stuff.
But they don't
inside,
have that.
which they don't, you're right, so, if there's a fire and stuff like that, we'll make a claim on the structure. And I don't know at this point, because I haven't looked at the insurance policy, whether there's anything for the contents or not.
Okay, well, I'll tell you what, my thing is that the stuff shouldn't be in that building if they don't have insurance on it.
That's exactly the point of what this report was to tell
Okay,
you the stuff that's coming out of there.
Then my thing is that y'all have vacated or vacating the place. All the stuff that belongs to Mineral needs to be given to Mineral. We'll find somewhere for it, even if we have to take it up to the fire station or whatever.
Well, none of it belongs to the Town of Mineral. It all belongs to the Historic Foundation.
Excuse me, but there are some things that belongs to the town, correct, Ed? Because you and I talked about this.
Well, so I was under the understanding that stuff that we got from Louisa that they were holding, that was coming here, that if the museum didn't happen, then we were going to either take back possession of the stuff because we didn't want it going back to Louisa, and others where we've collected stuff, and if anybody's given stuff to you of historical significance to the town of Mineral. And Ron, what you're saying is even though the foundation is not going away, that the foundation wants to retain, holding on to these articles and physical things and put them where?
Well, again, the agreement in the lease was that
Right.
if the Mineral Historic Foundation dissolved, that the artifacts collected by the Mineral Historic Foundation would be transferred to the town of Mineral. That's in our
Right.
lease.
Right,
Dissolving the museum, a physical building, has nothing to do with dissolving the entity that is the Mineral Historic Foundation. So we will still continue to research and present the history of the town of Mineral and celebrate the achievements of this town. None of the property in what was now the former museum belongs to the town of Mineral. Not one item in that museum officially belongs to the town.
Dave?
I will ask the lawyer to look into that for us. Because I was assuming that some of this stuff does belong to the town. Ed told me that some of the stuff belongs to the town. I think that we need.
What stuff do you
I
think
think we
belongs
need
to the
clarity.
town?
I'm talking, we need clarity on that.
So let me make a compromise here, when you guys decide that you're moving stuff, let us come over with you, just so that we can look at the materials and get a better understanding of exactly what it is.
I suggest that they do an inventory.
Well.
And where they got each thing from, whether it was a gift to the foundation, whether it was something that was loaned
Well,
to them.
excuse me, but that's none of your damn business.
Well, I
You
think
wouldn't
it
require
is.
that of a business owner if they dissolve their business. If Mineral Mercantile closed their doors, the town doesn't have authority over what possessions are in their building.
That is
What
not
would
true.
you
If this
do?
is supposed to be a part of the town of Mineral.
Okay. It's so noted, let us know when you're going to move,
I suggest they
Materials.
immediately.
Catherine. We'll need some insight from a legal point of view, if there is a legal point of view on it. I think, yeah, the way the contract is, it does say what Ron says. I think from my point of view, though, I wrongly assumed that if they were vacating, that the whole thing was being.
Mr. Chair,
I think we-
sell to stay intact.
I think we need to give them a time limit to get everything out there.
So, if there's a motion, then state your motion.
I'll make a motion that they have to remove everything by the end of this month.
But he's pretty ill and that's only like 2 weeks,
Well,
maybe.
It was a week.
Well, the lease states 90 days.
So there's a motion by Ms. McGee that there be a time limit.
I'll say time limit, this is 90 days, then 90 days, but everything else, we have to see the stuff.
So she is amending her motion that within 90 days that the Historic Foundation remove all the items
Can I
from
ask,
the town
yeah,
building.
can I ask another question on that?
Yeah,
In the 90 days, are they gonna be paying for the heat, the whatever, the electricity and whatever in that 90-day period?
I can't answer that because I'd have to go back to Ron and say, since he said they were terminating their contract.
But if it's still in there, if stuff is still in there, then they should still be paying.
So we need clarification from the historic foundation that, well, it says once they terminate the lease.
Was the lease says that the lease may be terminated by either party upon 90 days written,
With what?
90 days written notice.
Which you kind of just gave.
So that 90 days mean they have to pay for the rent and the whatever.
Well, under the contract, as long as they're renting it from us, they're supposed to pay those.
But if they don't want to pay this, then they need to get out immediately.
Catherine, you're,
If we want to-
There is an eviction process, yes, that can be followed, or
It's not an eviction, it's just, they're.
We'll cover the costs as long as our stuff is in the building. Let's just move on.
okay. Are you withdrawing your motion?
I don't,
Or do I have a second on the 90 days? Because she's got the motion, unless she,
all right,
There's no need for a motion. It's in a legal binding contract. There's no
Yeah,
need
that
for a
was
motion.
seconded.
okay?
then he has to be out. Is today your notice to us?
No, you're giving notice to him.
No, I haven't.
No,
it
we
didn't-
gave notice, we gave notice to the mayor as of today.
So 90 days from now.
Okay,
Okay.
it, under new business, number one, GMB's chair,
Mayor, we wanted to do that first.
I'm sorry,
You asked us to put vice mayor.
oh, thank you. So, every year we, based on my administration, I said that, at the end of one year, that council, they wanted to pick a new vice mayor. The same vice mayor, it was up to you all, and so now's the time that that agenda item is here.
I'll make a motion, we keep Blair.
All right, there's a motion by Mr. Keith to elect. And your second, Dr. Colbert, seconded. Rod,
Yes,
Becky,
Yes,
Olivia. Dr. Colbert, Bernice,
Same.
Stain, okay, and Blair. Abstain. Okay, so we got two voting yes, one voting no, and two abstains.
We got 3 yeses. He said yes, she said yes, and she said yes.
I'm just seeing if you guys are awake. Thank you. All right,
Then how do we vote? I mean, should we just see who wants, I mean, like. Wait up, like, you know what I mean, up to you. Pick who wants to run and then go back, everybody has me on.
yeah, let's do it. Well, you should have said that before.
Let's just move on. It's fine, so we have 3, so.
3, 2 abstains and then none. Okay,
3.
3,
We don't have a majority. You would be the tiebreaker.
no.
you don't have a majority.
That's what I'm saying, is we don't have a majority.
Okay. Well, then,
Then I will just change my vote to yes.
okay. Thank you. Now can I talk about the chairs?
Yeah.
So some of the chairs are broken, worn out, not the chairs in here, but the ones behind the bar. Where they said it will be a big.
There.
And so staff has concluded that the new chairs are $200. And there's 5 positions back there, but not all 5 are broken. What I would suggest is that maybe we buy 2 chairs this month and maybe wait to see if any more chairs break instead of just buying all new chairs when some of them are still
Think a suggestion.
usable.
P and B probably have certain chairs that they buy for these high, because all of the, whether it's a select or whether it's, you know, the regular DMV in Richmond or
Yeah.
full service, they all have tall chairs.
Yeah, they're, I think, for tall chairs.
Yeah, my understanding is they chose these.
I know,
Yeah.
but no, they chose.
Yeah,
So we need to find out what they're using because these chairs were just bought.
I agree 100% with you.
So we need to find out what these. And the stabilities of it, because they just bought.
But here's one thing that I know.
I mean, I'm okay with buying the
We
chairs.
might be buying cheaper that are breaking when you could buy something a little more expensive.
Well, that's true, but here's some. You can't do that,
Right,
folks,
right.
okay? I scolded a few people who like to drop in.
But I think that we should
Okay.
find out what they're using and get a quality chair because
Right, all right, so I will postpone this and then they get more. clear.
no, okay, let's vote to give it to them. But they need to research it and get a quality chair.
Okay,
Something that's DMV didn't use. And build a good chair.
okay.
And And make sure you get everybody has one and not, you know, I mean, like. When
I
you
can-
bought
I-
50 grand last month, to combine a good chair, it just gotta be a lasting. one.
Okay, I'll put their names on it.
That's right, and they break,
That breaks them.
find out who's the
I
bottom.
mean, but my whole concern is these chairs are not a year old.
No, they're not. You're right, we
So
bought
we're
those,
replacing,
I think they're 2 years old.
yeah, 2 years,
Mhm.
so,
Very old.
yeah. So,
is it a guarantee?
only first year, we're just hard on chairs. The next thing is,
Do you need a vote?
I don't think we.
Okay, go ahead.
Next thing is, we'd like to get permission to use the bench purchased by the beautification committee to put at the cemetery.
I get it.
So why are we, I mean, why are we buying off the Sunday, why do we need to move?
Well, we were gonna try to put it in front of the post office and it is really hard to get.
We actually have it already.
Yeah,
It just isn't working. Okay.
Yeah,
And the funding came out of beautification.
Well, let's understand, it's why beautification.
you know,
One that's over here is not gonna get moved, there's another one just like you put together sitting in the shop.
it was supposed to go to the post office, but trying to get something to the US Post Office.
Oh, yeah, you can't, yep.
we can't get on panel.
Okay.
Sorry.
I motion that, that the, bench go to, go to the cemetery and that the cemetery fund reimburse beautification, $716, 02 cents.
Okay, thank you, and, Dr.
A
Coburn.
second.
Yes.
Thank you, Ron, Becky,
What are we doing?
the move the bench to.
Yes.
Yes.
Say yes.
Yes,
Yes.
All right,
Yeah.
thank you very much.
thank you, Michelle.
I know you want that.
So, last month, we had a partial water breakage. And, for whatever reason, we didn't necessarily do a very good job of getting the word out to our residents that there was no water. Some of you are probably on the receiving end of either the toilet not flushing or having no pressure in your line. One of our citizens asked the question, and based on further advice from those that are in the water business, we should have got that notice out sooner. So I've instructed Amanda and Patty that when we have an issue like that, they need to bring it to my attention because I did not know until a little further in the timeline that there was an issue. Hank, certainly from your point, because you're gonna know probably faster than anybody, just send me a text or stuff. And if you think it's gonna be something that's gonna be down a while, then let's just send a notice out. And it,
Well, I mean, a lot of the problem that people have to understand is it was a 4-inch main line. So when you got a 4-inch main busted in half and it's blowing water down the side of the road, the fastest thing you can do is try to get it shut off because you're steadily losing water.
Right.
So you don't have really time to notify people and say, well, you got 20 minutes before we cut the water off. Your goal is to try to get the water shut down
right,
because you're losing so much.
Yeah.
You know?
and I'm not finding fault with that at all. I just want people to be transparent that we at least let them know, hey, we got a major water break. And
How you gonna let them know?
well, we'll put it on our sign.
Well, some problem too, though, that leak was not called in on my way to work. As my normal, just looking at the street, when I went by, I saw the water run down the road, so I turned around and came back, and the road was a sheet of ice. And it was blowing out the ground.
Yep.
So,
We're just gonna have to know people best we can.
So on our new website, we do have Hank's phone number and it says in case of water emergencies, call his, his phone number. And with the new accounting software, they allow you to narrow it by address and you can either send just those people affected an email or text, whatever they choose to give you as their information. You can just say addresses through like 1 through 30 Main Street. Send them an alert that their water is gonna be out. So that's another perk of the new software.
yeah, because Paul was posting on social media, we had a week later, we had people from Spring Road, from Patty saying, my water's dirty from the water leak. Well, the water leak was on West Third Street. It had nothing to do with Spring Road. West Third Street was only partially shut off, so.
When the boiled water thing came up.
Yeah, it's probably, so anyway, based on that whole scenario, we went and had the water tested, we got a hold of the state folks and in your packet should be the results of their water.
I don't think we've ever had to boil water.
We have not, according to them.
I don't,
But
not in my years.
yeah, but again, we had a resident concerned and said, hey, do we need to be boiling water? And once that cat's out of the bag, well, now you're playing damage control. So anyway, we just need to come up with better procedures and the software is gonna help us get the word out. And it's a learning curve, so thanks for those that gave us notification and also endured the shutdown of your wallets. So. Every January, we attempt to do a resolution to establish the 2020, in this case, it will be 2024 town council regular meeting schedule. I'm gonna read this. Whereas the town charter 3.9 meeting of council states that the town council shall fix the time of their stated meetings. And whereas the meeting of the town council of the town of Mineral take place at Town Hall located at 213 Mineral Avenue, Mineral, Virginia. Now therefore be resolved that the town council of the town of Mineral hereby approves the following regular meeting schedule of the town council of the town of Mineral at 6:30 p.m. on the following dates in 2024. Obviously, I'll start tonight, February 12th. Next one is March 11th. April 8th. May 13th. June 10th. July 8th. August 12th. September 9th, October 14th, November 12th, and December 9th. Now, all those should correspond with it being the second Monday of the month, except for if Monday is a holiday and then it's pushed to the next day, which is the Tuesday.
Did you ever get clarifications on you can change your meeting?
Yes, with proper notification, yes.
We also mentioned that's the wrong example. We have 312.
That,
It is the wrong address. So we needed to leave that because,
well, this all is got to be retyped anyways, because it's dealing with address. But yeah, okay, somebody back on your 313, instead of 312, okay.
And
So all this stuff,
if I may just add, the only date that is a Tuesday instead of a Monday because of a holiday is that November 12th day.
It's Columbus Day, not a state.
Not according to the current calendar.
you know,
Yeah, Columbus Day.
I think state has that, but I'm not sure.
It's a federal, but I don't think because we've gotten those other two holidays in there. So,
Just.
So to go back what I was asking you, like, we had to quit in the middle of the meeting there because you had changed the meeting. Can't you legally change your meeting?
if we post it.
yes,
And it was posted properly.
it
wasn't
was posted, but there was, again, because a citizen raised concern about it, it aired on the caution side than getting, not getting a legal swoop. So. Yes, the mayor has the power to have an emergency meeting as long as he.
But you can change a meeting date
Also,
also.
you can change it. You just have to notify at least 3 members of council before you actually have the meeting, so. So this will be ordered on the 12th of February, 2024. And the foregoing resolution was duly adopted by the following vote. Ron,
Yes.
Olivia,
Yes.
Ms. McGee,
Yes.
Dr. Kovic,
Yes.
Ms. Cubie,
Yes.
Blair. Okay. Once this gets reprinted, I'll sign it and I'll be posted on the bulletin board. We'll also put it up on our webpage. Any old new business that I missed? If not, we'll go into and release the hearing.
I move that town council per town code section 355-47 approve the extension of the town water and sewer infrastructure to the parcels on tax map ID 43B 221352 on condition of application for service and the receipt of water and sewer connection fees, with the town paying the cost of that extension up to the amount of connection fees received, less the town's expense for the new connections to the town water and sewer system.
So we have a motion to go into executive. Second from Blair, Ron,
Yes.
Becky,
Yes.
Olivia. Dr. Kovic,
Yes.
Renee,
Yeah.
and Blair.
Mr. Mayor, I can confirm, you said the motion to go into closed session. Is someone going to read the FOIA motion?
I can read it right here.
I move it in print.
In accordance with Virginia Code Section 2.2-37 11A8, town council will convene in closed session to consult with legal counsel on a specific legal matter regarding the town ordinance requiring the provision of legal advice by counsel.
I mean, another gentleman.
I guess so.
That one doesn't stay open. I think it's the other one.
Starting with our. Do I have a motion to come back into open session? Do I have a second? All in favor? Okay, we're now in open session.
Certified.
I don't have that.
Yeah. Do you certify and affirm that only public business matters lawfully exempted from open meeting requirements under the Freedom of Information Act were discussed in the closed meeting to which the certification applies? Do you also agree that only such public business matters as were identified in the motion under which the closed meeting was convened were heard, discussed, or considered by council?
Dr. Cole,
Yeah,
Bernice,
I say certified.
Blair,
I still certified.
Olivia,
Yeah.
Becky,
I so certified.
and Rod.
I so certify.
Okay?
I make a motion to adjourn.
I second.
No, we're being, folks, we gotta go to that, please vote.
For what?
Well, you basically, is there a consensus?
Our
I
consensus.
thought we,
I
oh,
thought
okay.
we were gonna make a motion.
No. So we can't adjourn this meeting because we have the 22nd that we have to go to, and so we still need to be open to get there.
Right, but if
Yeah.
you have a motion and a second, don't we need to address it? Like it either needs to be withdrawn or it needs to be voted on.
Withdraw your second.
I withdraw my second.
And I withdraw the said.
And then we need to. The attorney, can you?
Okay.
For everybody, please.
Does the council come to a consensus regarding water and sewer issues that the mayor and town attorney should work with any involved parties to try to come to a resolution?
Yes, we do.
Yes.
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 Do we make?
Yes, I'm getting it wrong.
Oh, yes.
I'm good with that.
Everybody said yes, that was one call, yes. Yes. Okay.
So we're gonna stay open for the 22nd?
Well,
What do we do? Why can't we convene on?
I make a motion that we recess and reconvene on the 22nd of January for the work session, February, for the work session of the planning commission and the TJPDC.
Wait a minute, got a question.
But
We're gonna
that
do
meeting's already been publicly advertised.
our meeting too? What, I thought,
No, we're not doing our meeting.
So what this is doing is we're having a joint meeting.
with planning, but we don't have to be there, do we?
What, you don't have to be there, no, but
Oh, we're spending all that.
we're,
Well, I didn't, but anyway,
yeah, so we're at least,
but we're not talking about what we're talking about.
No.
Is that, y'all misled me.
so is there a second on that motion?
Yes.
Let me, okay, Ron,
Yes.
I have
Olivia.
no idea what y'all are talking about.
Becky,
I don't know.
okay, you understand?
Yes.
Okay,
How do you feel misled?
so I will see,
I thought we were, 22nd, when y'all were talking about it in that meeting, that we were gonna meet again about.
Oh, no, that's
About this.
No, we've moved on to other business.
No, that's not what they said. We only talked about the water issue, water and sewer issues, and when y'all were talking about the 22nd.
We're not in closed session then.
But no, when we were in closed session, y'all were talking about the 22nd. And I was,
Possible.
that we were going, and So I felt like I was misled.
You probably could have.
Maybe that's what I took, what you meant, that we were gonna meet the 42nd to discuss this.
It can be.
Lord mercy, why am I doing this every month?